Extendo. And of course, with me tonight is the one, the only, the metal. Oh,
Hello.
hello, hello. And up there he has a picture of a character he drew from the first, whatchamacallit, his contest that he had a while back.
Yeah. The
6
what's
months?
it called? The Spring X-Timus Chaos fan art contest.
Cool. And I guess, who's that character that they want it done? Or do you know?
That is Bergmite's OC,
Okay.
Iris Cragnus.
Okay. She looks interesting. I take it that she's a
Yeah, I think she's supposed to be like a robot girl or a digi girl or something like that.
Cool. Oh, I never. No, let me chat up. Oh, I do, but I don't. I forgot to open it in browser. So that's cool. One commission down. A couple more to go.
Well, technically 2 because I did Evans already.
Okay. Now you just have to do John's, right? I believe.
I have to do John's. I have to do the 4-page short for that, and then I got a commission and short for you for the next contest after that.
Yeah. And make sure you send the line art for that to me. That way I can put it in the coloring book. Yeah, so that hopefully that will be good for sure too. Yeah, we'll have to showcase those 2 couple shorts off your website once they're done, maybe individually. You know, they won't be long, but quick, 5-10 minutes or.
Rick, it did it again.
What? What did what?
Cross Comics After Dark weekly Cross Comics characters showcase subject molecule.
I tell it to. I've got to check Restream here.
I was wondering why it wasn't updating on the page I was on, and then I looked at my notifications like, oh, it did it again.
I've been having a lot of problems with that. I can't. I'm gonna obviously have to change that quickly.
Yeah. I don't know why. My screen always comes out so fuzzy on your end.
Yeah.
Even though I have it set to feed through at 720.
Yeah.
In the feed settings.
Well, I changed mine the other day. Let's see. What settings? What are mine at? See, there's the problem. Mine like to go back to.
Yeah, I've been double checking every single time. But I think it still comes out fuzzy anyway. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think it's just meat. Meat's mean.
Yeah, okay, so let's see. We need to get this changed.
Yeah. Over to the screen that you're working on.
Yeah, the right stuff. At least all the information in the background anyways. Okay. Okay, so let's edit. Good thing is I have it all up. All I have to do is Control C and Control V twice. And everything goes over. Well, I actually got to go change the one other thing. And that is, of course, the thumbnail. So, there we have the thumbnail. We hit save. And ta-da! We're on the right one now. and it has all the right information. So that in and of itself is good. So hold on, let's see. There we go. Bringing up so we can draw. Now, I'm not sure whether it's good tonight, what I'm drawing, or not, because I don't have to worry a lot about great anatomy tonight, because this is a stretchy character.
See, you say that.
I said I don't know. But, you can stretch out the arm. I guess it still has to look fairly decent, or, stretch out the body, It doesn't have to look super muscular, but it does have to look good and stretchy.
Well, yeah, and it's also got to look good. You don't want those ugly Kamala Khan hands.
Yeah. She should never have been Miss Marvel. That name doesn't even suit that character.
I agree.
But, what are we, the people that actually read this? Well, technically, I'm not reading it at the moment. And probably a lot of people.
Hey, I actually read all of Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Miss Marvel, okay?
I take it you mean the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel.
Yeah. I actually did not dislike Volume 1 as a trade paperback. I feel sorry for anybody who read it as issues, because nothing even gets done in the first issue, but if it was originally made as a graphic novel, it wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
Her character really didn't start spiraling into a really bad place until Volume 2, and you could really see it happening. And then even worse when she started doing team-up stuff with other people.
Yeah. Well, it's probably the same way with Squirrel Girl. When they first introduced her, I think she was a decent character.
Yeah.
And
she
then,
was a gag character.
Because she was part of
Great Lakes Adventures.
Yeah. Those are all gag characters, so.
Yeah, they were all great. I love the Great Lakes Adventures, especially Big Bertha.
Yeah. I can't say I've read much of them, but obviously I know about them.
Yeah. Bertha's cool because she can just manipulate all of her mass and force herself down and disguise herself as a supermodel. But that's not who she really is.
Yeah. Seems like they took a little bit of something like that almost from for the new Doom Patrol TV series for Elastigirl and that. I'm not sure whether you've
Probably.
seen because
I haven't seen much of it.
Okay. Because they have her more as she's not as stretchy as she's supposed to be or whatever. She's not even really stretchy. Just seems to end up in a blob of protoplasm.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's nothing like that character. Actually, I don't think any of the characters in Doom Patrol are quite what they're supposed to be for.
No, they're not.
But of all the ones on thing, people seem to accept that one the most for their change in attitudes and all that. I can't say I've read a lot of Doom Patrol. myself.
I wouldn't say I've read too much either. I've read some, but most of it was, going back. I don't even know if there was a Doom Patrol run when I was growing up, but it was mostly here and there to find out more about it after I found out who they were a thing watching Teen Titans when they showed up for Beast Boy.
Yeah. I think they were
Like,
created.
this isn't it. When were they
think-
created? I don't know.
I think the 70s. Here, let me check.
Yeah, again, that would definitely be before I was growing up. 63.
Okay. Oh, you found out before me.
First appeared in My Greatest Adventure number 80.
Yeah. And they've had a few different members over the years, but
Yeah, but like I wasn't even aware they existed until like Teen Titans, the TV show, and they showed up in that like episode with for Beast Boy's old crew. I'm like, oh, who are these guys? I should go read some of this.
I'm not sure.
And that's like the extent I've ever read of Doom Patrol.
I don't even know where I've read that much. But, I've seen them in quite a few things, too. I'm not sure when I probably first found them. I think, sometime during the 90s. But it would have been before that Teen Titans cartoon. Demons!
Yeah. They had Puffy, Amiyumi do the opening song for that show.
Uh,
I actually really like Puffy. They're one of my favorite Japanese bands. I used to have their entire discography. Which doesn't sound impressive because you've probably seen a lot of bands, their discography might be anywhere between 2 to 5 albums.
or less. One.
But I think Amiyumi, because some of their songs they completely rewrote with different lyrics that meant different things when they came over here to the US. They're like, instead of translating these songs because people may not pick up on the meanings, we're just going to turn them into new songs. But like same melody, chords, everything like that, rhythm. I think they had like 10 albums or something like that.
Okay.
They worked a lot. And they had a bunch of singles too that were never on albums. Sorry, I'm wrong. 12 albums.
Yeah, you're doing your best to remember. We'll forgive you.
Yeah, I was only off by 2. It's that much.
So what are you drinking there? Coke? Beer? Something else?
Oh, I'm drinking the only real drink. Pepsi Cola made with real sugar.
Well, I can't say you're a traitor. Because I don't know whether it's still this. I heard a study back, I think, in the 90s, that more Americans drink Pepsi than Coke, and more Canadians drink Coke than Pepsi.
It really depends where you're at, honestly, in the country.
Yeah.
Like up in the northeast area where my parents are from, right? Because I was actually born up there in New Jersey, and they were born and raised in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Everybody drinks Pepsi in that area for the most part. Like you'll get people who don't, but if you're talking about like the average on the whole, everybody drinks Pepsi.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like the best drink to have with pizza. A Pepsi and a pizza is a great combination. But then you start moving over to other places, especially as you start getting towards the Midwest and stuff. More people drink Coca-Cola on average. You actually come down here to Texas, most people just drink Dr. Pepper. Like they'll have a cola if it's the option. But if you give them the option for Dr. Pepper, they're just going to throw cola to the wind and drink Dr. Pepper every single time.
Mm. Well, and that of course I'm talking on average, for all the
Yeah.
United States. Like I said, I don't know where I heard it, and so I don't honestly know how true it is, but I've always went with it. And it could be, if it's true, it could be subliminal because
Yeah.
you think of Pepsi. It's got red, white, blue, the colors of the United States. Coke is just red
Yep.
and white. You know.
Well, Pepsi really had to do that on purpose, mostly to save face, because there didn't used to be as much red in their logo. But back in during the Cold War, Pepsi was actually the first capitalistic system to re-enter Russia.
Yeah.
But the problem was uh, their efforts ultimately failed. I mean, there was no money in Soviet Russia, so where were they gonna get it from?
Yeah.
Russia even had to start basically selling them vodka bottles so they can melt them down and make soda bottles and stuff as a profit.
Yeah.
And eventually, to cover their debt to Pepsi, they even gave them 6 battleships. So at one point in time, Pepsi was the sixth largest naval superpower in the world, and they sold the ships to the U.S. afterwards. But it didn't work out for them. And then, even though they were trying to bring capitalism back to Russia, many people saw them as a company that was aiding communism, and Coke was able to market themselves as the only all-American drink to never have a foot in a communist country. So they needed to start rebranding themselves with the red, white, and blue to be a more American drink.
Well, I think they already had the red, white, and blue before then, but I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, but they had to start really focusing on it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's neat these little things. Pepsi
Yeah.
being
Well, it's always something.
world
Yeah,
superpower.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's always one of the most interesting things. That Pepsi was at one point in time the sixth largest naval superpower in the world,
Yeah, they own them. It's not like they outfitted them with people.
as far as we know.
Yeah. The question is, who would they get to outfit them if they could? They couldn't have any one particular nation, I think, outfitting them. But especially, being all nations, they wouldn't want it to have seen, two one nation.
Hmm.
But then again, they did sell them off to the states for money, so that could have. Who knows
Well,
whether that
it
went
was
bad.
more that they sold them to the states for to save face,
Yeah,
right? Because think about it, you primarily operate as an American company.
yeah,
You were given battleships from Russia. You don't
yeah,
want to seem treacherous, so what do? You sell your ships back to the company that or the country that you operate in.
yeah. Or that you get the biggest profit in, anyways. Uh, because they probably operated just as much here in Canada. Although there's the fact that we don't have as many people, so
Well, when you talk about primary operation, you have to talk about where your headquarters are, right?
No.
Pepsi is a United States company because their primary headquarters and where they were founded was here in the United States.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, let's say at some point in time, Tim Hortons becomes big enough that they start operating outside of Canada at a sufficient level, not just in the bordering states, right? And maybe even to the point that they have more stores in the United States than they do in Canada, it would still be a Canadian company.
Yeah. Actually, I think they are in more than just the States and Canada now. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but my point is that they would never, unless they actually moved their primary headquarters to the States, they would never be a United States company. They'd be a Canadian company.
Or they sold themselves off to the States.
Or what is it?
Or
There's
American.
Burger King is actually a Canadian company because their parent company is located in Canada.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah. I found that out a while ago.
I always thought of Burger King as American.
Well, at one point in time it was, but a lot of these things get bought out by other companies, and the parent organization is located in Canada.
Well, that would maybe make sense.
And they even operate their headquarters out of Canada too. So.
Okay, that's weird because what was it? Oh, it's for a while. Timmy's and Wendy's were working together, and then I think I heard that Burger King bought Tim Hortons.
Possibly. Their parent company is RBI, Restaurants Brands International, which is located in Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
Which does also own Tim Hortons, Popeyes, and let's see. And Moxie's.
And what?
And Moxie's. So that's one thing.
I've never heard of that one.
It's a Louisiana thing.
Okay. Well, I've heard of Popeyes, which is
Louisiana. Yeah, Popeyes, Tim Hortons, and Burger King are the three big things that RBI owns.
Yeah.
Their headquarters is located right in Toronto. So not that far from you.
No. Well, heck, my friend Chris, he showed the first Popeyes that he ever went to, which I think was the only one in Canada for the longest time, till, maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. It was in downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
And he took me there, and I've eaten there a couple times. I thought it was the original location, but then somebody told me Popeye started in the States somewhere, probably in Louisiana.
I would assume so because their logo or their brand is Louisiana Cooking.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, it was in New Orleans in 1972.
New Orleans, 1972.
And Burger King was founded in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, wow. That's right near Avery and Andrew.
Mm-hmm. I've got some friends in Jacksonville, too, from outside the circle.
Well, Tim Hortons was founded right here in Hamilton.
That I'm aware of, yes.
Although a couple years ago they revamped the original Timmy's at Ottawa and Maine, or Dunsmuir, something like that. They put a second floor to it. There's a museum in there.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't think I've actually ever been to that Tim Hortons in Hamilton.
Hmm.
But there's like probably closer. I was gonna say 200 of them in the city, so not surprising.
Actually, you want to think about operation costs. Let's go back to soda, right? Coca-Cola is very much a United States company, right?
Yeah.
Do you know where they make most of their money from?
Oh, where?
By a
Canada.
single country, China.
Ah,
China loves Coca-Cola.
let's see. How many
I remember looking up these metrics
Tim
before.
Hortons are in Hamilton, Ontario?
This is also that's like the reason why everybody wants to be in China or India as well, because their populations are pretty comparable. But those two countries are each a billion or more people, while the United States is only like a third of that.
Yeah. Actually, I think China is almost close to 2 billion.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous, and that's of documented people. Many people who follow the trends and movement think that there's far more people in China than the CCP actually know about.
Yeah, there's 23 locations of Tim Hortons in the United Kingdom. 2 in Northern Ireland. Well, let's see. What does this say how many in Hamilton? I don't think so. Trying to find
Oh,
out.
nice! Apparently, 25 minutes ago, a F2 tornado touched down about 5 miles east of Six Flags, which is about 20 minutes away from me by car.
One you didn't mention, or you guys didn't mention, KFC, which
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
was
Well,
founded in the States, but
they're not owned by the same company as Timmy's or whatever.
moved up here to Canada.
Oh, RBI, which owns
Uh,
Burger King.
yeah. Well, there's still probably a parent company down in the states. Well, they might.
Yeah.
I know Colonel Sanders did start a brand, a Canadian, main brand.
Oh yeah, because KFC is owned by Yum Brands, which also owns like Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Wing Street, and all that, and their headquarters are in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah. Let's see.
You can actually kind of like if you're here in the States. I don't know how they are up where you are. You might have just KFCs, but here in the States, you often see Yum brand restaurants will have dual restaurants. So you'll see like a KFC on one side and a Long John Silver on the other, all in one building, or like an A&W hamburger and a Pizza Hut or something like that.
We don't. You don't usually have Timmy, KFC, and any of those other ones. We've had a lot of times KFC and Taco Bell together.
Yeah, and those are both owned by Yum.
I think that also depends on how many people or what the owner of the individual store owns. Like a lot of times probably if you have an owner of say a KFC and a Taco Bell who are two different people, you probably wouldn't see them together. Although the parent company is owned by same people, but in downtown Hamilton,
well, because it's a franchise, so when you buy the property from and with the company, you brand up. You can kind of choose how it's located.
Yeah. Here in Hamilton, I think in a couple of our malls. I know in the one downtown. Um, as you know, in the food courts, they have stores. They have a Timmy's and a KFC together. So
KFC is also like ridiculously popular in Japan.
yeah,
I think I've probably told you about this before, but you've heard about the Kentucky Fried Christmas campaign, right?
yeah, I think yeah, but beans again.
Yeah. So like KFC back, I think it was the 70s, was able to cement themselves as a brand in Japan by basically merging the image of them and Christmas together. And now, if you live in one of the bigger cities, I think it's like up to a third of Japanese residents eat KFC for Christmas.
Yeah.
And they have like that many KFCs in Tokyo.
Okay, so I think I was far off, but I wasn't too far off. This thing, how many Tim Hortons are near Hamilton, Ontario? As I do a Yahoo search, and it says see all 141 results. So there could be like 140 of them basically in our city alone. Yeah. 500,000 people.
Oh yeah,
and that's not counting.
It gets ridiculous.
Oh yeah, Timmy's is like major popular here.
You know how many Starbucks are in New York City?
Oh, probably quite a few. You know.
As of last year, there was 241 Starbucks in New York City.
Okay, that's actually low to what I would have thought.
Yeah.
You know, with New York being with what 7 million people, something like that.
Yeah. Something. Let's see. Population is about 8.4 million people.
Yeah, and they've only got 200.
It's probably a lot less now.
Yeah, and they've only got about 200 and change at the moment.
Yep.
You know, Hamilton being only 500,000 has like over, I think, half of that in just Tim Hortons alone. So, for a popular brand of coffee shop, there's actually not as many as you would think. We've got like 5 or 6 Starbucks up here in Hamilton. And we've got, I don't know how many.
Of like the 655 McDonald's in the state of New York, about 100 of them are just in the NYC.
Yeah, I can believe that. It's crazy, some of this stuff.
I remember, because I live in a smaller town. Like, I'm in a suburb, but I'm not, like, in the dense suburbs. It's starting to get that way, though. But I grew up in a town that's basically on the very edge of the county. So it's like the denser suburb is the town over, and then we're the one who was, like, halfway between the rural area and the suburb for a while. But we've been building up because it's becoming a market town. And I remember the day it caught me off guard. We already had a Starbucks in the Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
And then they put up another one in the same parking lot as its own standalone building on the other side of the parking lot. And I'm like, I've always heard the joke about the Starbucks across the street from the other Starbucks. But this was in the same parking lot. They were on the same side of the street.
Oh, wow. Well, actually, we've got something very similar to that, believe it or not, with Timmy's. There's a location called Dundurn and King here in Hamilton. Mm-hmm. They have an Express Tim Hortons on one side, one corner. Then the corner over, there's a gas station with an Express Tim Hortons in it. And then there's a plaza with a whole bunch of stores, a grocery store and some other eating establishments. Now, this is way further away from them, but it's still in the plaza, which is fairly close. They have a sit-down Tim Hortons in it. So all these within, say, 5 minutes of each other, at best. And that's walking slowly. And accounting for having to cross at the lights.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know the city's a little bit smaller by like about 300,000 people, but as far as like development goes, Hamilton would be on par with, say, a city like Fort Worth. So you're in the city.
Yeah.
I expect that from an area like that. I'm not in the cities, and we were even less suburban back then than we are now. So it just completely caught me off guard to see that small little town.
Yeah. Now, I must admit, this area that I talked about, it's right where you get on the highway or off the highway, so, people's got to have their Kimmys right away, right?
Yeah. Like, maybe this year, this is how long, it's been taking a long time to hit here, but this year, we're just about to break 50,000 people in this city, and that's after it became a market town. Growing up, there was like nearly 20,000 people in this whole city.
I don't know.
So we're not rural, but we weren't quite suburban yet either. We were like in that really weird middle area.
Yeah, I know a few towns, cities, whatever you want to say like that.
Yeah. We're definitely suburban now. There's no arguing about that. There's way too many developments in neighborhoods. I remember seeing most of them go up. I used to play in some of them too when they were developing them. Not supposed to, but trespassing has always been one of my favorite crimes.
Well, most kids have that in common, I think. Most kids don't care.
Yeah, I never grew out of it.
Unless it's the kooky old man, that owns the house, and then or the kooky old lady that, like from Home Alone where nobody, or you think the house is haunted. It's an abandoned house.
I used to take a metal detector to the site to see if I could find anything cool. Maybe some of the employees lost some change or something like that. I didn't realize that most change doesn't even show up in a metal detector, but as a kid, what did I know?
Not much, apparently. Not enough.
Yeah. Well, no, almost no kid knows anything. Even though it's a study, it's like, well, you might know the one thing you've been reading a lot about, but you have literally no world experience. You've been alive for how long?
Yeah.
But it was fun. Used to have a friend from elementary school. It was actually his metal detector. I would sleep over at his house, and his family was the only street that actually had houses on it in that area.
Cool.
In front of it was just like open quarry for putting down foundation for houses and stuff like that. And I would talk him into it. He's like, I don't know if my parents would be cool with me going over to that area. It's like, well, your mom's the only one home and she's not coming outside. Let's just go and do it.
Yeah, what they don't know won't hurt them, right?
I think we were, let's see, what grade? It was second, maybe, yeah, probably second grade. So it was probably, like, depending on what part of the year, probably around 7-ish.
Yeah.
The one thing I miss about being that young, because everything else about it sucks because you can't do anything, you're a kid, but the cool thing that I miss is that everything was an adventure.
Yeah.
And you can still kind of have that attitude. It's just the world seems a lot smaller because you're bigger and you've experienced too much now.
Yeah, it's that, and life just seems to get in the way. Life is not as simple as when you're a kid.
Yeah, well, the universe does tend towards complexity. In the small and in the large.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I have to use the facilities.
Okay. I'll try and keep myself entertained. And people out there that aren't out there, they're probably all watching John over on the other channel. That he's on Golden something Eagle, Golden Rage Eagle.
Oh, I'm back.
Okay, nothing happened.
Yeah, I figured. It's been pretty quiet today. I wonder where everybody is.
I was just saying that they might, there's some channel, I think Golden Rage Eagle, John's over on it, or he was earlier, talking about, well, he hadn't got up yet for talking about the box.
Raging Golden Eagle?
Something like that. Let me see if I can.
I know of Raging Golden Eagle. I don't know Raging Golden Eagle, but I know of.
Yeah, Raging Golden Eagle. They got like 60 something thousand viewers, so, or not viewers, but subscribers, so. And that's still on. And John's over there talking, so. He probably drew all the crowd over there.
Probably.
Then again, did I share this out? I don't even know if I shared it out.
I did.
I think I got messed up because of the whole stupid thing I was going to share out. Share out. Heck, I almost expected Timothy to be in here, at least on the panel. I put him in the thing, so.
I noticed.
You don't sound too thrilled about that.
Do I strike you as the type of guy that's thrilled about much?
Sometimes.
Speaking of things like that, actually, the other day I started writing up a dungeon. An optional one that you guys can go and do. The only problem with these things is like I'm preparing all this stuff, but you guys just may never do it.
Yeah, you never know what we're gonna do. It seems, eh?
Yeah.
we're like, surprise, surprise! And like, we do the hunt when you didn't expect it. First time
Maybe I
I've
just need to start actually using psychological tricks to tempt you into things.
No, like you haven't already done that. I know you deny it, but I think you did that with saying about what you call it, the Hunters Guild and not having gone there. It's like, okay.
Oh no! I didn't want you guys to go to that until like 3 or 4 sessions in.
Yeah, but because you said about not having gone to it, that made me want to go.
Oh yeah, I was just trying to explain to you why an area was dark in the first place and why there weren't dark areas in the second map.
I didn't even think about it in the least. Till you
In fact,
mentioned
I actually
it.
wrote the campaign that you guys don't even have to go to the guild until after you complete the King's Quest.
We certainly threw that for a loop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still wrote it in a way that you could, like
Yeah.
I was going to give you options.
Yeah, of course we can. Didn't mean we had to. It's not like you could actually stop us from going in.
I mean, I could.
Yeah, I know you could have put 50 guards.
I literally could have just put guards in front of it and been like, I mean, if you want in, you're going to have to do it the hard way.
Yeah, well, other than that.
That was a pretty effective way. I don't even think now you guys could take the guards, to be honest.
We probably have to be level.
That's kind of like the whole point of the guards. The guards exist for if I don't want you guys to do something.
That's like most places or most games or whatever. Put something there guarding it that we can't fight or beat.
Well, you would hope that the guards would be at least somewhat competent, right? I mean, it's their job.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd feel pretty sad for the kingdom if the guards were like...
Oh, like Barney Fife?
Level 1 characters. Yeah.
Oh, they're all like Inspector Gadget.
Ugh. Really, like, armed to the teeth, but useless.
Yeah. Deep, 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 deep. Trying to think of other characters that you could say that are that. Yeah. Oh, Maxwell Smart.
Could be worse. You'd be Dudley Do-Right and be like ultra strong, but not be able to get the job done properly until it happens by accident.
Like Inspector Gadget. Although I don't think he'd ever have gotten any missions done without Brain and his niece.
Yeah. It's a Penny, I believe, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've watched that. I know they tried to do a follow-up show on Netflix years later that was like in CG. I tried watching it. It was awful.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched that. Of course, they did 2 movies, which were bad.
Yeah, I mean, one, Matthew Broderick was just not the right choice for Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
And they basically turned it on its head. Instead of like giving him a really good system and making the character incompetent because, voiced by the same guy who's basically supposed to be Maxwell Smart, just in like $1 billion man type of way, right?
Yeah.
they was like, no, he's actually a really competent police officer. It's just the system doesn't function right. It's like, well, why? Why not just make it the way it's supposed to be? You know who should have been Inspector or Gadget for the movie?
Who?
Should have been Bruce Campbell.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. He's got the build. He can play wacky characters. His voice is actually already in the right zone. All he has to do is kind of like clench his neck in a little, be like, "Go, Gadget, helicopter."
Yeah. Or another person. I'm not sure what his name. But basically from the same show. Joxer. The actor of Joxer. I'm not sure what his name is. Joxer the mighty travels the countryside with Gabby as a sidekick carrying her little stick. And there's more to the song, but I don't know it.
Oh, and I hated the way they portrayed Claw in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love the character. If the character was somebody who wasn't Claw, that character would be great.
Yeah.
It just wasn't Claw, you know? Like, and anybody could play Claw. You don't even have to be a big guy because you're never going to show him next to anybody, right? You could feign his size by giving him a small chair or something. He just has to do the voice right. He just has to be like, "I'll get you yet, Gadget."
Yeah. Let's see. Cross Comics is here. Says he's watching Drawing Aces. Is here and he says, "Hail peeps, hail Drawing Aces. How are you today? How are you, Cross Comics?" Not me, of course. Not the real Cross Comics.
It's like, man, what was up with their portrayal of Claw?
I don't know. Unfortunately, it's the thing with movies. They have to change it for some reason because they think they know how to do the character right. Well, no, you don't have to change it. The character's been this way for years, and everybody's loved him because it's been this way for years.
You know, Crossed Comics says, "I am you, but in the past."
Okay. Yes, Mother?
Did you eat all the strawberries?
No.
Where are they?
In the fridge, I believe. Either that or maybe they're... No, I think they're still by the computer. Your computer. And there we have the motherly interruption. We have stopped this broadcast for a motherly interruption.
This is what everybody shows up to see, though.
Yeah. Cross Comic says, "I did, Linda." That would have been interesting. To see you eat the strawberries in the future while you're in the past.
Possibly. It depends whose future.
Well, he says he's me, but in the past, right? So.
Yeah.
So I'm the future him, so... And we got the strawberries today, so I guess it would depend on when he is me in the past.
Yeah. Well, what happens is you don't remember this because you were just in a fever dream at the time, but you accidentally walked into the future, ate the strawberries, and then fell back into the past.
Okay, but how do I remember eating them to say that I ate them?
Well, because he's still in the middle of the fever dream.
Okay. He's trying to say he's omnipresent now. No, I'm not.
Well, you have to be a fever dream to say that.
Travis says, let's make a movie based on a popular, beloved franchise to make money off its fame, but then we'll change everything to piss off the fans and basically guarantee we can't make a sequel. Yeah, but there's
But
the
they did
thing.
make a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that. But that's the thing. Then they go and make a sequel. And then make it even worse.
Oh yeah, because at least the first one had some charm to it. Not a lot, but there was some charm. But then the sequel is just like, why?
Why do you torture us so? Well, the good thing is it was made for like TV movie or straight to DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. You know.
As most sequels are.
Travis says at least Claw acted more like Claw in the sequel. I forget. I'm pretty sure I saw the sequel. There we go. Bad movie you have to see. Inspector Gadget.
Oh, you're adding that to the list?
I could. Technically, we don't have a list at the moment for the bad ones.
Yeah.
Eagle.
I mean, I'd be willing to rewatch the first one. That one wouldn't be a problem. I'd probably have to skip out on number 2.
Hudson Hawk wasn't too bad when I watched it this past week, but it wasn't the best either.
Oh yeah, my mom loves that movie for some reason. Like, it's one of her favorite movies.
But what was it? When I watched U.S. Marshals, I did not realize that what's the name was in it? Tony Stark. The actor of Tony Stark.
About Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Theodore Rex. Oh well, Travis, if you want to put that in the Discord, you can.
He's just trying to make me watch that movie again because he knows I hate it. I had never even heard of that movie until I met Travis, and it wasn't even until, like, I don't know, 5 years ago that we finally sat down and he showed it to me because it's like a beloved movie of his from childhood. And I'm like, why? Because the movie is basically between Blade Runner and halfway between Demolition Man, but instead of the what are they called? The synthetic people in Blade Runner. I can't remember the name of them right now. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Instead of that, it's dinosaurs. That's basically it. That's the movie right there. And Whoopi Goldberg is the main human character. And her partner is a T-Rex.
I was going to say, probably before she could act.
No. Her performance was fine. That wasn't the problem with the movie. And a lot of it looked like they just reused a bunch of the props from Fox's Dinosaurs. You remember that TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah, because all the outfits look like they were like, well, we have all of these props around, let's make a movie using them.
Was it done by Fox?
I don't even remember. I think I looked it up at one point. Now, let's see what Google has to say. Wikipedia, you'll let me know. Let's see. New Line Cinema, which is a Warner Media company. I will say, it's definitely a movie you don't have to worry about being appropriate for all audiences.
Let's see what we got here that we can color. Oh, we can do some more coloring on this.
See, I have one of those problems too. It's like, especially if I haven't seen a movie in a really long time, is while my mom was kind of protective about that stuff, my dad really didn't care. And he would just show me stuff if it was me and him. Didn't care about the age or anything. So I saw things when I was a kid that I probably shouldn't have. But in my memory, it's like, oh yeah, that's a movie that a kid's allowed to watch. I watched it as a kid.
Yeah. Let's see. Travis says Whoopi Goldberg is a cybernetically enhanced cop with a bad attitude, and Teddy is a Jim Henson creature, shop style suit muppet, whatever you want to say, who's kind of like the police token Dino, who wants to be a real detective.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit wacky.
Oh, it's trying to be.
Sounds like a nice bad night movie.
Yeah. Well, knowing you, you'll probably enjoy it a lot more than I did.
Yeah. A lot of times I can just watch movies, but I see a lot of the stupidness. It's like, okay, that is completely utterly ridiculous, and that would never be reality.
Oh, you'd be like watching through all of Hudson Hawk.
Yeah. Could somebody be that good at thievery? Yeah, sure. But,
Well, some of the chain of events that happened, man. Parts of it that's almost like a fever dream itself. But speaking of a good fever dream, you'll have to wait because you can't watch this one on bad movie night because it's too good of a movie. Is Johnny Dangerously, so I have to just wait until you run out of good movies.
well, we could watch that this week. I was going to watch Oscar this week.
No, Oscar's been on the list for too long. You can't skip it.
Uh-huh. Well, then we can go the week after for Johnny Dangerously.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure
that one's a good movie. There's parts of it that look stupid, but because of it's built as a comedy, it's actually very cleverly written. Like it's making fun of things. It's parody type of movie. Oh, there's a area called Movie Night Suggestions right in the voice channel group, Travis. That's where you put that stuff.
Yeah.
You scroll down a bit.
Yeah. Should be just above the Or the
watching stuff
watching.
together chat.
Yeah, any movies that you want to put in there, good or bad, feel free to put them in. Just maybe let me
Label them.
know. Yeah, know whether it's good or bad. Which night?
Yeah, like Johnny Dangerously is one of those movies I thought was a bad movie the whole time I was growing up because I didn't get it. And then when I was older and watched it again with my old man, I'm like, oh, I get this movie now. This is actually a really good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta love those movies that you don't get it. Well, then again, a lot of Disney movies have stuff that you don't get till you're an adult either, but you still enjoy them.
Well, for the most part, my dad actually explained all that stuff to me. And he was always like, okay, but you can't tell your classmates what this means.
But then you
People
did
just
anyway.
no, I didn't. I was actually really good about keeping it to myself. That was part of the problem. Even one of my close friends and classmates, for a long time, he knew because we hung out outside of school. But when asked, because nobody thought I was a pervert in school or anything like that, or some type of degenerate, someone asked him like, "Hey, who do you think is the most perverted person that you know?" And he pointed to me, and they're like, "What? No way." It's like, yes, I was ruined from a very early age. I'm just really good at keeping it to myself.
Except for those that know you really well.
Yeah. Well, it's less so than it used to be. I think at some point I just stopped caring. Like, I'll be polite for other people's sake, but
Yeah.
oh, especially not even classmates. You'd even be like, and don't ever bring this up in church.
Yeah.
Because we used to be, when I was real young, really incorporated into the church. And we were there, like, probably on 3 or 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And it's like, you definitely can't talk about this in church. Showing me different movies and stuff like that. He used to sit me down and watch Saturday Night Live together when I was like 7 years old.
Cool. I guess. Well, I've never.
Well, I always thought it was cool. I remember watching Tommy Boy for the first time when I was like, I don't know, I'm probably like 5 or 6. My dad had to explain to me why the scene where Richard was secretly, jerking it to the naked lady in the pool and why it was supposed to be funny.
Hmm.
Why is the Canadian Shield fighting the cartoon version of Ganon?
I don't know. Guess he does look a bit like Ganon from Link. I don't know who could beat who though.
Bring light to my lair. You will die.
Why? Because I can. There's the answer. Maybe not be a good answer, but it's an answer.
You know, Ganon was just tired of losing to Link over and over again. He's like, I'll try somebody else for a change.
Yeah. I don't think this get Toxico's not as powerful as Ganon.
Oh, definitely not. Ganon could just like lay waste to an entire countryside if he wanted to.
Yeah, this little kid defeats him.
You know, the little kid also has like instruments and utensils from the gods.
Well, I guess it depends on which version of Ganon you go with, and also which version of Link you go with.
Yeah, because I think, let's see. I think there's only one time where Link's actually a kid when he fights any version of Ganon or Ganondorf.
Yeah.
And that's in Wind Waker. Every other time, it's an adult version who confronts the final boss.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to Ganon, there are some times you have like a childlike Link fighting some other boss that isn't Ganon, like Vati and stuff like that.
Yeah. But still, I think of, say, the original Zelda. I don't think that Ganon is as powerful as later versions. Because Link doesn't...
Oh, no, he is. The original version of the game, Link was an adult, though, so...
Yeah, it was still... Link in that one doesn't have a lot. Once he got some bows and arrows and stuff like that. Actually, I think
that version of the game, you need the silver arrow to beat Ganon. So you actually, which is basically the light arrow. It was a weird translation, but you do need an equipment from the gods to beat Ganon, and that's the silver arrow. And what that does is it makes him vulnerable, so you can actually see him and attack him.
Yeah.
But he's not vulnerable until that point. So.
Okay, so light arrow. Well, if it's light arrow, that's different than silver arrow. That's like, a vampire, werewolf, silver bullet.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be the same arrow. It's just, they were fermenting things. The original Zelda, much like a lot of old RPGs, was basically supposed to be like a Dungeons and Dragons style game, except instead of this being like a turn-based game like many, this was supposed to be an action adventure. It was still top-down, everything was still square by square, just things moved in real time. You got equipment, you went from dungeon to dungeon, you had to solve puzzles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was originally called a Hyrule Fantasy in Japan before it was called The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Just funny, I like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. For the promotional poster in Japanese, it still said a Hyrule Fantasy underneath it. And Breath of the Wild, even though it is its own game, in its own spot in the timeline, in many ways is kind of like a soft reset on Zelda. It's almost like a remake of the original in some ways. Not close enough that you could even really tell if you weren't paying attention to certain clues. It's definitely its own original game.
Yeah. Most of Zelda, except for, the original, I wouldn't say much for the gods or anything in it. Like I said, except for the silver arrow at the end, maybe basically being...
Well, and the Triforce
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he doesn't really use the Triforce to defeat him in number one, does he?
No, you're actually trying to collect the Triforce to keep it away from Ganon.
Yeah.
Because it was Zelda's Triforce. You're collecting the Triforce of Wisdom, which has been scattered into pieces.
Yeah, so let's.
Most of this was explained in the instruction manual. There's actually like a picture of the original Impa, who looked more like an old hag, which is closer to what she looks in Breath of the Wild, because she's like 100 years old, or 120 years old, or something like that. And Impa was Zelda's like handmaid. He protected her and kept her around, and she comes running to Link, and there's like a picture of her talking to Link, and she's like explaining the plot in the manual, as most games did back then. They didn't have the space in the game to fully explain everything to you. There was a little bit of explanation in the title scroll if you let it play, but other than that, it was like always in the manual. Mario games, they told you the plot of the game in the manual and everything like that. It's just how games were back then.
Yeah, although people like me didn't read the manual, especially that stuff.
Oh man, dude, the first thing I did was read the manual before I played a game.
It's like, okay, I don't need the manual to defeat this. The odd time I ended up going to the manual and, okay, how do I do this?
And much like Final Fantasy, The Legend of Zelda also came with a world map, like a place mat that folded out that came in the box with the game.
Yeah.
It was just like a common thing to do back then for things like that.
Trying to think, did in the game itself, couldn't you get the map without that, or?
So you kind of piecing the map as you explored, but if I recall, I don't think there was actually. The map was bare bones.
Yeah, it didn't tell you where everything was, obviously. I forget, it's been so long.
But I remember the placemat sheet too. That was one of those things, just like the one from Final Fantasy that I just had for the longest time. But then it was probably when my family got evicted from our house that we lost it.
Yeah, you tend to lose a lot of stuff when something like that happens.
Yeah.
Because you gotta pack up quickly, right?
Well, the thing was, this map, unlike the Final Fantasy one, didn't actually have every place on it, right? So the original placemat, the map kind of mountained from the bottom up, so like the corners were missing information. It didn't want to show you the graveyard or what was the missing part on the other side. They didn't want to show you the graveyard, and they didn't want to show you like the waterfall dungeon in the far corner.
Yeah.
You had to explore that for yourself. You didn't know it was there going into the game. Much of Death Mountain and stuff.
Yeah, well, most of that stuff was hard to get to anyway, so it's not like you could go in and you beat it, even if you knew it was there.
Yeah.
Without all the other stuff that they want you to get or whatever. So you can't go defeat Ganon like right away. You just don't have the stuff to beat him, let alone for the.
Well, it's not entirely true. If you've ever watched a Legend of Zelda speedrun.
Okay. I haven't. Well, people have defeated him with just like the Master Sword or whatever sword you get.
You don't technically get the Master Sword in the first one.
I forget.
You get an upgrade sword.
Yeah.
I think what is the world record for the original Legend of Zelda right now? I think it's 27 minutes for any percent.
For what percent?
Any percent, which means you don't have to go and beat everything. You can just go. You have to beat the final boss, and whatever you have to do to get to the final boss is any percent.
Okay.
There's a bunch of categories for that game. There's also 100%, low percent, swordless, which means you play the game without the sword. Physically possible. Second quest, low percent and 100%, and second quest, swordless.
So I guess you would play it with swordless. You'd beat everything with the bow.
Yeah, you have to go and get it right away, though.
Yeah.
The speed run for swordless is actually barely longer than the any percent one too. It's only 32.5 minutes.
Okay. Well, good night, Crust Comics. Whoever you may be.
Whenever you may be.
What are you dragging? Oh, it sounded like you were dragging something there or whatever.
I don't believe I'm dragging anything.
Okay. Or scraping something?
Oh, I was scratching my mustache.
Okay.
It was itchy.
Oh, it's fine that you're scratching your mustache. It's just a bit...
You judging me, Rick?
Yes, I'm judging you.
I don't need this kind of negativity in my life.
It doesn't sound like it's doing that. It sounds like something being scraped across a desk or something.
Well, there's nothing being scraped across a desk.
I don't mean it literally. I said it sounded like that. It could be something different.
I don't know what to tell you, Rick.
You're going nuts, Rick. Yeah! Yeah, nuts!
You're already nuts.
Okay, this is true. Unfortunately, I cannot deny some things like that. I am already a little out there. Or maybe a lot out there. I don't know if we'll ever know how much I'm out there. Or am I in there? I don't know where I'd be in, but except for maybe the loony bin.
I don't know where you're taking this.
Neither do I. I'm just rambling incoherently. Because apparently it's fun for me to ramble at the moment.
Well, I guess it beats the dead air.
Yeah.
I have not been working on anything this entire time. I need to pull something up to work on. See, I'm starting to agree with Dillard
What?
that we should probably have an RPG night more than once a week.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other day but Saturday to put it on.
Yeah. Well, it's just,
Especially working with other people's schedules.
yeah, that's the biggest thing. Working with other people's schedules. Let's see if anybody's.
Like, personally, I just don't think it's possible.
Yeah. Might not be. I don't think it'd work any other day during the week.
Yeah.
Except, it could work Sunday too, probably, but that's about it.
That would make it tight, though, because if we did it Sunday, that means, there's no day for me to actually push the vomitorium over if we actually bother to run it.
Yeah.
I would just have to, take our break and then run it that evening.
Yeah.
Like, whichever evening we do it.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. That's why I say the only one that I think is possible, because I don't think we could do it during the day.
Yeah, I don't think
Even
we could do it during the day either.
even early evening, I think would be pushing it. You know. See, like 6 or 7 would be pushing it, and that's 6 or 7 my time.
Yeah. I don't think there's really any way to make the sessions any longer.
We've actually sort of extended the sessions. There seem to be going 3, maybe 3.5. But we get to the 2 hour mark usually and we say, is everybody willing to go longer or whatever.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I don't think we can even extend it past 4 is the problem, right? And 4 is about the length of a short session for most actual game get-togethers.
Yeah.
But this seems to be the only schedule that works the way things are going now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is what it is. The only other thing that would be weird is if you have different people play on a different day the characters.
Oh, well, I have been thinking of just. The problem is I don't want to run the exact same campaign twice this close to each other because one team might just get ahead of the other. But I have been thinking about playing with another group during the week.
That's I'm not. You would have to get. What I'm more talking about is like me and Joe Blow team up with, and we both control my character, the character I created. But on the other day of the
Yeah,
week,
no, I get what you're saying.
yeah.
But one thing I've considered is just preparing some dungeons, and people could just like roll up a character for that dungeon.
Yeah, so like we've done before, make it up on the fly.
Yeah, sort of. Except I would still want to use the system. I'm liking the system, trying to get more used to it. Oh, speaking of Rick, I talked to Marsupial about this, and I actually was wrong about something because in the rulebook, the first time they explained it, they weren't clear. But you don't have to roll the hit for your jump ability.
Okay, so I just automatically hit?
Yeah, it says automatically hits, but the way they described automatically hits at the beginning of the rulebook didn't make any sense. And it wasn't until I read even further into the rulebook that it made any sense.
Okay, so I just have to roll for damage?
Yeah. And the reason is, it didn't make sense to me either, because in Final Fantasy, jump can miss. It's like, wait, but why doesn't this spell miss? Marsupial doesn't have to be rolling for fire either. I'm like, what? But what's the point of having magic accuracy and magic evasion if you don't even use it?
Probably
now, as the GM, I could still make you guys roll for it, but we're going to try the way the book says, and if it turns out to be too broken, then we'll go back to the way we've been doing it.
Less chance of me hitting those hundreds.
Yeah. Well, not that it should matter anyway. Skills aren't supposed to be able to critically miss.
No.
So even if you roll 100, it's just a straight up miss. It's only if you do a regular attack can you critically miss.
Well, I guess that's good to find out.
Yeah.
Your
chocobo still has to roll for everything, though.
Yeah.
But if I made a monster, that one I didn't have any problem with because I didn't put auto hit on any of your chocobo's moves. If I make a monster, it also has to roll for anything, and your chocobo has to apply to the same rules.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Part of this is I'm learning the, for the most part, the system while you guys are. You guys are kind of my guinea pigs.
Yeah. I think you told me that before. I don't mind being a guinea pig.
Pretty sure I have. Yeah. think I told you that when we were talking after the session last time, and we were looking up like the extra movement stuff.
Yeah.
And how ridiculous fall damage becomes.
Well, initially, but
Though you don't have to worry about that because you have float, so you can't take fall damage.
well, that's good.
Well, for now. And up until level 11, because you can't get rid of your angel wings and replace it with another accessory until you hit level 11.
Yeah. Well, unless there's something really, really good.
No, you literally can't. That's part of the advantage.
No, I mean, unless there's something really, really good, I'm not. I won't be getting rid of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. But you just can't at all until level 11.
Yeah.
Speaking of stats, that's what I'm doing right now.
Stats for what?
Stats for monsters.
Monster stats?
Yeah, monster stats.
Sounds like a monstrous task.
It could be. The hard one, the end boss for this dungeon I did yesterday, so these other ones should be easy.
Oh, It's one hand down. Watch this, everybody's going to show up in the last 5 minutes.
Well, that's probably when Timothy's going to show up for sure. Either that or not at all, because a lot of times he shows up if John hops on and you end up going over. It's particularly the dungeon I'm working on right now.
Speak of the
I
devil.
can tell you. Oh, wait, is that him? Oh, hey, he's here. That's funny. The one I'm working on right now, because I can tell you what dungeon it is without telling you what's in it, is that flooded plaza that you should see on the map.
Yeah.
Figured I should just start knocking out some of the dungeons, whether you guys end up wanting to go to them or not. But like I said in the chat, if there's a particular place you want to go to, let me know so I can have it prepared ahead of time.
Yeah. I don't think, except for doing a couple. Well, we're going to probably do Hunt 4. We might do Hunt 5, I think. Although I think you said Hunt 5 is probably too difficult for us. So we'll probably.
Yeah, well, like if you wanted to go to one of the other places, like that other town that you saw, Clement Bay, it would take you so long to get there. You'd have to do you might as well start beforehand, and then I can have it ready by the next session.
Yeah.
Because you're just not, you're probably going to level up appropriately before you get there.
Yeah, but the kids or the heir that we got to rescue, he's still in that area that we're in, right?
What do you mean?
Oh, the King's Quest that we haven't done yet.
That fortress is just
yeah.
That's just it.
That was the one in the swamp that we.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They have no plans to go anywhere.
Oh yeah, I get that. I think
this is like the tutorial dungeon. It's there's nothing complicated. You don't have a timeline or anything. This would be a pretty bad tutorial dungeon if they just like ran off on you because you guys took too long.
Yeah. I guess I'm just thinking, we go over there. If we just go over there and back, I guess we might be able to pick up something in the town if they have anything. Because that's like what, probably, I think I was figuring out 10 mobs minimum.
Would to get to where?
Claymont Bay.
Oh, Clement Bay. Let me look at the map again because I think you undercounted how long it would take you to get there, how many miles it is.
Well, I knew it's a minimum of 150, might be 180.
Let's see.
And I was
have a ruler with me.
And hello, Timothy.
And I'm going to enlarge this until marker matches one of the measurements on my ruler. There we go. 1.5 inches. Every 1.5 inches is 50 miles. Let's see how far they are from each other. About. Let's see. It's about 7 inches the way you have to curve. So that's about 4.5 points. So that'd be 5. 5 possible mob spawns.
Okay, then that's left.
So that means 15 possible mobs that you have to fight on the way there.
Yeah, so again, I think we'd be better off sticking near home, as you might say. Yeah.
Rick, why are you so loud?
I'm loud? I didn't realize I was loud.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Rick, why are you so loud?
I
don't know. When I turned you on for a second, you didn't seem that loud. My sound sounds awful, though. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, hello, Rosetta Allen. How are you?
Someone told me this is where you come to troll people. Yes, this is where you come to troll people.
Yes. Usually me, unfortunately. Demented.
Rick, did you schedule a video to go up while you were in the middle of your stream?
Yeah. Well, just right at the end. It's only like a 2 to 3 minute video. I've got them going up to like Saturday or Sunday. It's ones that I did I don't know, probably close to a year ago. That's my thing. I am the one making an ego book. Boo. Down with Rick.
Eagle book. Eagles are cool.
Yeah,
We have a friend named Eagle.
yeah. I've got a character named Eagle.
That Eagle would say that you clearly stole from him, even if it's before you knew him.
Yeah. Rosetta, let me tell you, the first Canadian book had so many birds. It did not. Yeah, but I tried a photographer once. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, yeah.
No, it's not my promo Canadian Shield promo video.
That's a lot cooler than making comics. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. She says, "Hey, I make comics as well." Well, that's even better.
Oh, yeah. Well, so do I also make comics. So does Rick. But
Yeah.
that can be cool. I think the nature stuff's even cooler.
I'm working on a pinup book. I'm crazy like that. Cool. Very cool. Well, when you get it done and you're ready to show it off, you want to come on and promote it. You should know now that Tim dragged me over here.
Okay.
Okay, we know who to blame. Okay, not that it's a bad thing that you're here. The more people that hear, the better. Shh, Tim. Only in sets of 5. Yeah, laugh a lot. I thought she needed a good laugh. Rick, hey Rick, maybe I donate a pin up drawing to her book. How can I laugh? I can't see them.
Rick doesn't
Alright.
do pin-up drawings.
Not yet. No, I'll just employ artists to do it for me. Of my characters. It's funnier when Dillard's yelling at him. Dillard yells at me? I just think I wouldn't say he yells usually. Then again, we haven't got our Albert and Costello routine down too well yet.
First, you got to know your place. Which one are you?
Somehow I think I'm Lou Costello. You think Dillard would be Lou and be the straight man?
No, you definitely can't be the straight man. That just wouldn't work.
Why, I'm straight. Okay, that one was
This is exactly the point I'm trying to make here, Rick. Everything has to be an attempted pun with you.
Well, Rick has a lot of dead air, so he needs space filled. Sometimes, yes. But then again, sometimes people just call him to watch the drawing and not troll the person drawing, Timothy. Timothy says you must be not by that many F-bombs, sweetie.
Oh, F-bombs? Yeah, yeah, so you and Tim must be friends.
Yeah, that's something we try to avoid here. Well, I'm good at it. Other people are
Oh,
not.
especially if Dillard's on. Like, he tries, but
Yeah, well, he's better than
he just can't help himself.
a couple people that really give him out are Naomi.
Oh, yeah, Larry doesn't even try. He just throws him out left and right.
Yeah, I don't think he remembers that he's supposed to try. And I haven't been mean or whatever you want to call and say, hey Larry, can you try not doing the F bombs? And then of course there's Risey. Jury's still right. Haven't
I mean, he lives up in
seen
Fowlin, right?
my friends troll me hardcore. Yeah. Who? Larry?
Larry. He lives up in, yeah.
No, he's New Brunswick.
Okay. It's all in the same general area.
Yeah, but it's enough different.
Yeah, well, yeah, but everybody up there's kind of got like that blue collar attitude to them. So it doesn't surprise me that he talks like that. I mean, most of my family talks like that, and I'm a very blue collar family.
Rosetta says, Tim is not up to my level. She also says, no filter in my head between what I think and what I say. Literally, that's the part of my brain that is not functional.
I mean, shoot, when I'm off air, I talk like that too. I've just gotten so used to being in the church that I'm able to flip that filter on.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, if you're doing a comic and you're putting it up somewhere, trying to sell it, even if you just get a website and all that for your art or your comic universe or your pinup stuff or your stuff, love to have you on sometime. Usually it's Mondays at about 10 Eastern. I don't have one. It's not intentional. It's seizure damage. I'm on the board of a church and I bite my lips so hard it bleeds sometimes. Well, I'd say that's good but not good at the same time. Nice but naughty. Naughty but nice? Something like that. Yeah, that can be Nice. Naughty but nice. I am a big promoter, big supporter of indie comics. Well, I try and be that here too. Like I said, I don't got anything planned for next Monday, but I have a series of shows that I call Talking With, and I bring people on talk about their Indiegogo projects. Metal here, although he's not had an Indiegogo project, we've talked about his comic book universe. He has a website that we went over, and there's a couple people that I've done that with too. So, although I have my own universe, I feel what comes, for lack of a better way of saying it, what comes around goes around. If you promote others, hopefully others will be willing to promote you.
See, you hope so.
Jim, you should message
And
him.
I personally am a believer in reciprocity, so I'm not an exception to that. But I mean, you've known a lot of people that are exceptions to that rule.
Yeah. This here actually is I didn't draw this, but this is second page of a comic book that I'm working on right now. I'm just getting the characters colored in. Then I'm gonna put some background in. Here's the second page. That's panel 5. I need to put all this stuff in. I took out earlier. Calm down, Rick. I'm calm. I'm always calm. Yeah.
I don't think the name of that segment really flies with Rick's values.
Get pimped by Piper. The segment where you promote comics from other people. Yeah. I like talking with better.
I mean, that is a good name, just
Yeah.
probably not for you.
I could even use it for some other segment. I don't know. But I wouldn't be too opposed to that name. But I think more people out there might will like the name, talking with better. That's my own personal opinion. Hum, says Rosetta.
Like, is that a command? Or is like the beginning of humbug?
Could be her thinking.
Maybe. Like things that make you go,
Might be better than things that make you go bump in the night. Or things that go bump in the night. I don't know. Take your pick.
Well, things that make you go, is a really good song by the CNC Music Factory.
Oh, okay. Thinking, scheming, tomato, kidnapping, whatever.
Oh, see, this is the attitude I like.
Yeah, I can like it too. But it is unfortunately that time. Timothy also says, or an opinion piece called The Gospel According to Pipper. Oh, not much. A sketchbook, just unfortunately for you, about to end. Because it's 12 o'clock where I am, midnight. Says check your messages. Okay, here, I'll check my messages before I take off. Cool, cool. Yeah, we could, she says boo. Well, I'm back, Rosetta. I will be back tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. You must stay trapped in YouTube. And I'm back tomorrow night. I'm here Monday through Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time till 2 approximately. And then I'm here from 10 Eastern Standard Time to uh, midnight Eastern Standard Time. So, this Monday through Friday, and we're doing a show here. We do a Final Fantasy tabletop game on Saturdays. I will be streaming. I'll have to definitely check.
Tim's in,
Pardon it?
I said Tim's in our game.
Yeah. So, Metal, would you like to promote?
I mean, I can. Everybody to go over to xdynamuschaos.com, where I have a bunch of free comics and prose literature in one connected world that you can read and enjoy, as well as a bunch of character bios. You can honestly get lost on the site for hours. Hopefully more to come soon.
And we got Dillard here now, too. So, yeah, I'd like to thank Metal for coming on.
Buckler's now over 4,000.
Ooh, awesome.
That's great to hear.
Sometime this week, I will be putting my order in for the Buckler. So, yes, if you like comic books, Rosetta, go over to Indiegogo and check out the Buckler. John has a book there. I'll put that in the chat right before we leave. And of course, I want to thank everybody for coming by tonight in the chat and talking and all that. I should give John back his link, his thing. So he can put his link in the thing. Where can we? There, John, there's your wrench back. Haha, Dillard is a fail. He never followed me back. I know it. I have shared and pushed the link through CG groups a few times. I know most of them, even if I am broke. Well, that's good that you're pushing it, Rosetta. Thank you very much for pushing the book. So yeah, and this is what I drew tonight. My character Extendo, he's a bad guy. So yeah, go check out the Buckler, and we'll catch you all hopefully tomorrow sometime. So bye for now. God bless. Have a great night. Love you all. Bye for now.